السلام عليكم، مرحبا في حلقة جديدة من فنانون يشتغلون. معنا اليوم الرسام الفنان جوش كوربوس.
Oh, that's my cue. Hello, what's up?
المقابلة حتكون بالإنجليزي فحتكون في ترجمة إن شاء الله. So welcome Josh.
What's up?
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
About me.
Yes.
According to my bio on Instagram, my name is Josh Corpuz. I'm a Filipino residing in Abu Dhabi, but I work in Dubai. Mainly do 2D paintings, concept art, illustration, background art, recently animation, but didn't last long there, so I'm back to background painting. So yeah.
Cool. So just tell us a bit about your childhood. What was it like?
About my childhood, it's pretty much like ever since I was a kid, I've been drawing. So ever since I've watched, like the oldest Disney movie I can remember watching is like Land Before Time. The dinosaurs. Land Before Time. So it's like after watching that, I've been drawing like shit ton of dinosaurs. That was like around, as far as I can remember, that was like around 4 years old. Then when I was like around 10, parents bought me a PS1. That's like my first exposure to video games at the time. So it's like you first play these games as a kid, you had no idea what the fuck is this shit. I was like, wow, it's one of those like things that plays games. So it's like one of the games that stuck to me even until this day. Is one of the old games by Square Enix, like before they became like Square Enix. I think it was the part when they were still called Squaresoft. So before then they were making an RPG game called Legend of Mana. So it's this like first RPG game that I finished, I think, when I was a kid. So it was, soundtrack was awesome, art is awesome. It's like these things you didn't know as a kid, you know. It's just like, wow, everything looks cool and dope. You know? Now you grow up, you realize like, oh shit, so that's how they did it. Fuck, why don't they make games like this anymore? You know? Yeah, but I'm still a bitch to RPGs. But yeah, back then it was like games that inspired me a lot as a kid, specifically RPG genre. I think I had a lot of free time, that's why I enjoyed them. Then as for TV shows, it's mostly anime, which is namely Digimon. So Digimon's like one of the biggest inspiration I had as a kid, mainly because, you know, like Pokemon, it was there, but like not as cool as Digimon for me. Like Pokemon, you just like have a lightning rat, you know. On Digimon you have a dog with like knife for tails, knife for wings, with guns. So it's like designer's wet dream, I guess. If that's how you go. It's like they went well with the design, you know. And it's like they just don't give a shit. It looks cool. So yeah, like main inspirations as a kid are mainly those things.
Cool. So are you the only artist in the family, or?
Nah. Actually, like my brother is a graphic artist. He wants to be a graphic designer, but the thing is like, you know, after going through me being an artist and like, you know, shit ton of money, they said like, okay, Job, we're gonna like, cause my brother's name is Job, so it's like, all right, we're gonna make sure you get a degree to a more secure job first before you pursue your graphic design. So right now I think he's doing business economics, which is like, you know, fucking safe. Yeah, for sure you'll land a job somewhere, but he really wants to do graphic design once he finishes. So as for my sister, you know, like for your kids draw a lot. So there's that. It's just like, come on, push. So pretty much like it runs throughout the entire siblings, mainly because like the parents encourage it also. So it's not like they're restricting about it. It's like, if you wanna go for it, go for it. But like I think after me, it's like, okay, play safe.
So So you're like the first one in the family that took art.
Yeah.
Uh,
As an occupation.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the thing is like, ever since I was a kid, like I've been spouting to my parents already, I'm working at Disney, I'm working at Pixar when I grow up. So they kind of just like went with it. I didn't think they were serious. Just like, I was ready to go to college in Philippines, then they said, Josh, we found a school for you in Singapore. Like, wow, okay, cool.
So when exactly did you decide to take art as like serious, like this is what you want to do?
As a kid, that's the only thing I saw myself doing. Actually, like I didn't see myself doing business stuff, but I did imagine myself living in a big house, a car, driving a fucking sports car. But you know, reality. But I think like it was on high school, around third year, like a year before my senior year. So it's like we were already being pressured to take, like, because it was around the time where we were supposed to start taking mock exams for universities on Philippines. So it was like shit ton of studying, that type of thing. So it was then like I kept looking through the university list on Philippines. Then I was like looking for media related courses, because at the time I was heavy on VFX. It's the first time I touched After Effects, so I thought like maybe I should work on something like this if they offer it on any universities on Philippines. There are a few, but the thing about the media courses there is that it's way too general. There's no certain path for you to take, because throughout the 4 years in college, you're gonna touch on every single one there is on the industry. But the thing is like there's no focus. So all I found on the curriculum is that, okay, first year, drawing, math, physics. Like, I was like, what the fuck? I just want to draw. So, yeah, like, I was like, since I saw those things on the curriculum, that's when I started like fucking like studying like shit. But you know, results are shit. So nothing I can do about that. So until I passed one university, I think I passed a couple target universities. Like they were one of the lower ones. And they offer media course. So I thought like, might as well go for it. Then around the same time before graduating, parents pushed me on this university on Singapore called DigiPen. So it's mainly a game university. So their main focus is programming, game design. Art was still quite new there, so like, they haven't introduced like art as one of like the bigger ones, like because they've always been focused on programming. So art was fairly new on that part. So mainly focused on animation also. And you get to touch up on everything, but the thing is like every single subject you do is art, except for physics and computer science, which is fuck that shit. But the good thing is like you get to draw every day. Like, I was supposed to go in as a game designer because I want to work on games. So before that, they give you this test. You know, it's like a bunch of essay shits you have to fill up before you submit it to them, before they allow you in. And I realized like I can't come up with any game ideas because I didn't know how to make a game at the time. It's like what experience I have back then was just like video editing. That's the extent of it. And is that again? Like I checked the curriculum of the game design. Again, with the physics and math even more than the ones I found on Philippines. So I was like, I compared it with the art course, like art degree on the same school. It's like, shit, they don't have any math. And the first semester is all about drawing. So I was like, fuck it, I switch course. So yeah. Few months left before my student pass expires. So during that time, I was initially planning on looking for work locally in Singapore. The thing is like that was the time where they laid off a lot of people from, I think, Double Negative. It's like a VFX studio who does for films on Hollywood. So the thing is like they laid off quite a lot of people. So it was the time I recently finished also and looking for work. And competition. Naturally, like you have industry veterans who just got laid off and you're just a fresh student. So it didn't really work out for me, but what happened after that is that I mainly focused more on getting freelance instead. So just like to build like that client base, you know, and to establish myself, excuse me, establish myself online. So pretty much like non-stop portfolio stuff because I had free time. So it's just like okay, keep drawing, then send client one artwork sent to the client. So that went on for a while, like around like 4 months or so. So freelance was doing well, but the thing is like it's one of those like low paying gigs. So one illustration, you'll see like Legend of the Cryptids lower version because I'm not that good. That's like very like bootleg version. It's like those type of illustrations for around 10 USD, 50 USD. So it's like it's not something I can control at the moment, mainly because I don't have connections. I don't know anyone. So any job that comes my door, okay, work on it. Maybe this next piece you're gonna do for this client will be your next portfolio piece. But alas, NDA. And but like other than that, it's just like you're pushing yourself. Every illustration you do for the client, hopefully it gets better than the last one. Then you can use it to submit it to another client. Then they'll hire you for another job, hopefully with a better pay. It's like when I first got a gig that paid me $350, I was like, oh my god! I was like, that's like 1 month lunch. It was like fucking cup noodles, man. It was like 300 USD. I was like, oh, that shit's big. You convert it to SGD, that's like around 400, 500. So it's like really good money, It's like. So after that, after my student pass expired, I went back to Abu Dhabi, still carrying on with freelance projects, but at the same time trying to look for a full-time gig at the time because I was here on a visit visa and I really need to find a job. Pretty much just anywhere. One opportunity, actually I got hired right after my visa expired. So it's like I'm on my last week and I got hired like the week before it expired, so I had to exit. So it was the time where I think I attended the Ramadan Art Bazaar, like on 2454 at the time. Then a guy from a company, I won't disclose any names by the way. So a guy from a company found me. Then it's like, yeah, I wanna hire you. And I'm like, fuck yeah, take me in. I need the visa. So that's how I got my foot on the door here in the region. So from there, it's just like started with the company. My boss pretty much introduced me to the local art group meetups here in Dubai. At first at Dubai because I didn't know like they have meetups in Abu Dhabi. So pretty much like I met up with some few guys on Dubai, built connections with those artists. Then slowly, like, oh, they actually have a meetup in Abu Dhabi, hosted by Shihab, your host. So I started attending. So yeah, pretty much from there, yeah, just like keep on meeting people. Then I'm here.
So you got hired by a company. So what did you do? What kind of job
did I do?
Yeah.
On that studio, I mainly serve. Since I'm the only artist, I pretty much do everything. Aside from the graphic design stuff, because we have like dedicated graphic designers who handle the graphic design work. But for me, I mainly do. It ranges from infographic, concept art, storyboarding, animatics. Anything that has drawing involved in it, pretty much I've got my hand on it. But I think since the studio is making its own animation project, I got to work on I guess it was a pretty good project because we got to collaborate with other companies in Japan specifically. Like it's a animation studio outsourced to them, so it's like the storyboard was made in-house. Then we gave it to the director on that studio. So it's like back and forth, response with them. Other than that, I think it's pretty much marketing. A lot of marketing stuff, because like it's a design. It's a design firm, so they take in jobs. You're just there, stuck doing the job that they took. Nothing you can do about it. But at the same time, I'm doing freelance on the side. So you have your full time and you have your freelance. Full time is for you to pay your transportation every day, and freelance is for you to pay for the books you want to buy.
Are you still freelancing?
Now, not so much. I have a few projects I want to work on personally on a freelance basis, but the thing is, like, most of them I have no point of contact, like, because Japanese. It's like you go to their website, you don't find the contact information. You get the address, so it means you have to fucking fly there. But freelance, I take in occasionally, but I don't. I don't take in so much that I'll be, like, too tired. It's just like, if the gig is interesting enough and it pays quite well enough, then I'll take it. Mainly because, extra cash never hurts. So, interesting project and good pay. So those are pretty much like the benchmarks I do right now. But the thing is, like, I wanna take freelance that's like closer to my goal, which is like pretty much get to work on a Japanese company making RPG games, because that's what inspired you as a kid. So naturally that's what you want to do when you work on this industry and contribute to something like that. So yeah, like, I want to drop like some clients also, since I don't think they're actually client that's pushing me towards the direction I want to go to. So as much as possible, I want it to be more related to the end goal.
Yeah. Cool. So for those who are beginners in art,
the advice.
Advice for you?
I'm bad at advice.
Give us your bad advice.
I'll give you bad advice, but don't take it. No, that was like, I guess most people, like, they ask me how do I get my foot in the industry.
Yeah.
So it's like, now I think about it, it's like I'm thinking, like, how did I get my foot in the industry? So it's pretty much like meeting people. Connections is very important. Number one, I think. Number two, despite having connections, you gotta have the skill to back up your claims. Okay, it's like, okay, you're surrounded by industry professionals that can potentially lead you to a job, but the requirements of the job is something good, like someone who can pretty much do this and that on a specific thing. Pretty much requires you to be flexible on your art style. Not to say to ignore the basics. Flexibility is definitely the key on getting a job. It's like the more you know, the more valuable you are to a company. So it's like, if you can animate and you can paint, good. If you can model and draw, good. If you can animate and 3D model, it's like, it's always good to have like two different skill sets that's gonna keep you an asset to the company. Otherwise, you're just next on the chopping block if they're looking for people to fire. So connections, being multidisciplinary, and lastly, I think what I would say is to just like stop asking questions. It's like, how do I do this? How do you do that? It's like, fucking study. Just like, most people are scared to actually just go in because they're gonna fail. You are going to fail. That's a guarantee. What's even worse is that, if you don't even try, you don't even get, like, if you don't try, then you don't get anything. At least when you try, it's 50-50. It's either yes or no. If you didn't even try, that 50% chance of getting a yes never happened. So stop asking questions and just like fucking do it. It's like, yeah.
That's really good. Totally agree with you. So, Comic-Con is coming. April. What did you cook for us?
For me, I have a carbonara on my plate. Nah, I'm actually preparing a book right now. Though I'm procrastinating a bit. But I'm preparing it with a friend of mine. It's a personal project that me and my friend have been working on for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
It's just like for fun, just like it's a conversation starter for us also. So it's like one of those things where you just like imagine a world and like how would you build this world, what type of things you want to see in this world happening. It's just a small world building project that's been going for a while that has gone through several revisions. And for us, like mainly for me, it's something that it's like an output for a portfolio this year. So it's like I want the thing I'm making for the book to represent what I want to do as an artist. So mainly character concept art on this art style, on this type of thing. So it's not gonna be so complicated that we're trying to tell a lot of story in it. It's just like an outlet of ideas. So it's a book that we're preparing and hopefully I'll finish it. Shit, deadline's approaching and I gotta get to the printers.
I've seen some of the work that you did. It looks amazing.
Thank you. But
Really looking forward to it.
But stress. Thank you. Hopefully everyone will too. And that's pretty much it, I guess.
Awesome. I think this is Comic-Con.
Yes.
So, thank you, Josh.
Thank
for
you.
being here.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you for everything and see you soon.
Yes. Thank you.